Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro denounced the unilateral coercive measures imposed by the Trump administration against the Venezuelan productive system, condemning that these actions were requested by the Venezuelan extreme right wing. During the installation of the National Economic Council, the President made a call to confront the economic war announcement promoted by the government of the United States and the Venezuelan extreme right wing. He also stated that Venezuelan migrants are victims of the sanctions and the economic war that forced them to emigrate. In this context, the Venezuelan head of state reiterated that in spite of the sanctions and economic blockade, the Venezuelan people have achieved in the first quarter of the year an economic growth of 4.5% in the gross domestic product.
In its opportunity, the criminal economic sanctions condemned by the entire Venezuelan public opinion were carefully requested by a few unspeakable individuals who have pretended and believed that by causing economic harm and consequently causing social harm to their country, our country, which belongs to all Venezuelans, they are going to have a bed of roses to reach political power in Venezuela and become the saviors in some cases of national history. Since the history we have lived through has shown that it is a crime against an entire country, against an entire society to have requested or supported sanctions against the economy and the healthy functioning of the national productive mechanism.
President Maduro also condemned the violations of human rights suffered by Venezuelan migrants in El Salvador.
Venezuelan migrants are doubly victims. In Venezuela, we're victims of the sanctions and the economic war that forced them to migrate as economic migrants. And now, they're victims of an embarrassment by pretending to qualify them as members of a gang of murderers, the Tren de Aragua criminal group that was defeated in our country, and pretending to qualify, as the Nazis did with the Jews, all Venezuelan migration as a migration of criminals. This is not a migration of criminals. I come out in defense of Venezuelan migrants. It is an economic migration of decent, productive working people.
Decente, trabajadora, productiva.
President Maduro also pointed out that there is a market dollar that must be respected in order to establish the mechanisms to defend it.
Tenemos un viejo enemigo, el dólar de guerra.
We have an old enemy, the war dollar. We're going to fight against all the mechanisms of robbery and speculation. There's a market dollar, some call it the official dollar. It is a mistake. It is not a dollar because we did not establish it. It was established by the market. It is a mistake. Those who love Venezuela do not stimulate under any aspect the war dollar, the parallel dollar. Those who love Venezuela respect the market dollar, which we built in this year of fighting for the new exchange system. It is a battle over who can do more, the war dollar or the construction of a market dollar that benefits economic stability, growth, production, trade, and the satisfaction of the needs of a country. Let's think about it.
In El Salvador, Cristosal, a 25-year-old human rights organization, has issued a report deeming the deportation of Venezuelans from the United States to prisons in El Salvador as illegal. Moreover, they say the refusal by the administration of President Nayib Bukele to disclose the identity of the said prisoners is a violation of human rights according to international law, which tantamounts to a forced disappearance or kidnapped. They argue that no person can be arrested in anonymity, for it is a violation of a basic right like communicating with relatives and lawyers or receiving visitors while in prison. We stay in Venezuela, where President Nicolas Maduro received the Arab Muslim community at the Miraflores Palace to celebrate the end of the holy month of Ramadan. The Venezuelan president emphasized during the meeting that the times of Ramadan have served to pray for the people of Palestine and its independence. He also stated that both peoples are united in the struggle for freedom and justice. For his part, the spiritual guide of the Caracas Mosque thanked the president for his firm opposition and support to the Palestinian cause during all times where the Zionist regime has criminally attacked the people of Gaza. The meeting was part of the closing of the holy month of Ramadan, which represents one of the fundamental pillars of Islam.
And we in Venezuela feel a great satisfaction that the Muslim community coexists and lives in peace in our country, Venezuela.
Ustedes son venezolanos, al igual que todos nosotros.
You are Venezuelans just like all of us, and Venezuela will always have the doors open for the Muslim community, for the Muslim people everywhere to continue living together in holy peace